Woolly jumper now as you sit back to enjoy the Scottish Cup third round action and news of the fourth round draw, while Sports Scene takes the road to Hampden.
Hello, good evening to you. Scottish Cup third round day is always one of the highlights of the season when the big clubs join the survivors from the earlier rounds to lay their reputations on the line. This is the stage where traditional cup upsets are most likely to happen, and today we weren't disappointed. We have highlights of no fewer than 6 of today's ties on the programme tonight, together with a look back at how we made the fourth round draw earlier this afternoon. Among the clubs we'll see tonight are many with an illustrious cup history.
The first name on Scottish football's most famous trophy is that of Queen's Park. The most recent name, of course, is Aberdeen's, who, as they began its defence this afternoon, included just one member of the Don side who won it 3 years in a row in the 80s, Alex McLeish. Their opponents today, Motherwell, have to go back to 1952 for their last taste of Hampden glory. On that day, they enjoyed a 4-0 final victory over Dundee. Partick Thistle have won the Cup just once, away back in 1921, when the admission price for the final at Celtic Park was doubled to 2 shillings. Thistle beat Rangers 1-0. Falkirk's most recent Cup success was in 1957, when 10 minutes into extra time in the replay against Kilmarnock, Dougie Moran scored the goal which took the Cup to Brockville. Airdrie last won the trophy in 1924, but they reached the final in 1975. Kevin McCann scored their only goal as Celtic won 3-1. And although they've reached the final 3 times since, Hearts haven't won the trophy since 1956, when Ian Crawford scored twice in a 3-1 win over Celtic, watched by a Hampden crowd of 133,000.
And only the final itself will attract a crowd even half that size in this year's Tennant Scottish Cup. Well, in addition to those matches at Pittodrie, Firhill and Broomfield, our cameras today took in the ties at Station Park, Forfar, where Celtic struggled 12 months ago and didn't expect to find it any easier this time round against the First Division side. Stair Park, Stranraer, many people's tip as the setting for a cup shock as struggling St Mirren tried to put their poor league form behind them. And McDermott Park, where Premier Division St Johnstone were firm favourites to see off the challenge of perhaps the most famous cup giant killers of them all, Berwick Rangers. Well, with every respect to East Fife, not many of us saw the second division side upsetting Dundee United at Bayview. But Gavin Murray's team must be the unluckiest team of the day after giving United the fright of their lives. Jim Cowell put the Fifers in front on the half hour, and it wasn't until the clock showed 93 minutes that Paddy Connolly scored a face-saving goal for the Premier side. Well, let's begin then with the cup holders who faced Motherwell, who have never lost a cup tie at Pittodrie. Last weekend's defeat at Parkhead, though, means that the Scottish Cup possibly now offers the Dons their best chance of a trophy this season. The commentator is Jock Brown.
Aberdeen suffered a blow when Brian Grant reported to the ground this morning with a heavy cold, which keeps him out of the match. But Ian Jess is back in the starting lineup, with Stephen Wright continuing at right back in place of the injured Stuart McKimmie. A goal scorer in the 1982 Cup final against Rangers, Eric McLeish retains massive enthusiasm for the competition. He's now 32 years old and Scotland's most capped defender, and the Aberdeen skipper is seeking his 6th Scottish Cup winners' medal. Motherwell introduced John Philibin for the first time in 7 weeks to replace the injured Jim Griffin, and there's a place too for Jamie Dolan in midfield, with a new striking partnership up front of Dougie Arnott and Ian Ferguson. But a great deal may depend on the form of Davy Cooper, another very experienced Cup exponent. He's 35 next month, and he has 3 Scottish Cup winners' medals and 4 losers' medals, all during his time with Rangers. The referee this afternoon, Mr. Alistair Hewitt from Edinburgh. So a very healthy crowd inside the stadium as the holders begin their defence of the Cup. And Motherwell are here as very determined opponents. The manager, Tommy McLean, has put a great deal of thought into his tactical lineup. And right at the start, it appears as though he's playing with 3 central defenders, 4 in midfield and 3 up front. So that's certainly a statement of intent from the Motherwell management. Aberdeen too look very positive with their starting lineup. Ian Jess joining Paul Mason and Hans Hielhuis up front. This is Van de Ven. Here's Tom Boyd. And O'Neill. Two internationals in the middle ranks, O'Neill and Boyd. On the far side is young Jamie Dolan. Here's Ian Ferguson. Now Arnott making for the byline, and well tackled by Irvine. The corner kick's been given. Brian Irvine making a very good tackle there, but this is a fine move from Motherwell. It was well created on the right. The ball played inside there by Ian Ferguson. Look at Dougie Arnott here taking on Irvine, making for the byline in very determined fashion, and that was a good tackle. So Cooper can be deadly from these corner kicks. Near post ball looking for Patterson. McLeish won it. Cleared by Hielhuis. Jess is the only Aberdeen player up front at the moment. That is a former Aberdeen player, Ian Angus, who plays that back to Tom Boyd. Oh, with a special buzz coming back to your old club. Ian Angus facing his former teammates. Very uneven contest that in the air. Irvine against Arnott. Philippen's header. Van de Ven uses right. Boyd was instantly put under pressure there by Jess. That's why he made the error with the pass. Mason fouled from the rear by Boyd. Tom Boyd playing wide on the left side of the Motherwell midfield. Played in by Bett. Turned away there by Maxwell, and the opening goal is being chopped off. Alec McLeish scored, but the flag was already up. And a major let-off there for Motherwell. Ball flighted in here by Jim Bett. It was at that point McLeish, you can see, offside as the header came in from Irvine. No complaint from the Aberdeen skipper. That could have made such a difference to the match. Irvine's header, returned by Philipin. Bett is on the right touchline. Misunderstanding there with Wright, allowing Boyd to break. Cooper is available on the touchline. With Ian Ferguson. Good running by Arnott. Leaning in there on right. It's good play by the Motherwell striker. There's Boyd with the angled cross. A shade too high for Ian Angus, but that was a very fine move from Motherwell. Well, they've been defending for the bulk of the game so far, but it was Dougie Arnott's determination here and skill on the left which set up the chance for Tom Boyd to loop in that cross. Well taken by Snelders. McLeish exchanging passes with Bett. That's good positioning inside the box by Craig Patterson. So Patterson holding this Motherwell defence together, using his substantial experience, now 31 years old. Stephen Wright with a cross. Led across by Bett for Jess. And that was a marvellous challenge by Chris McCart to deny Ian Jess. Aberdeen trying to come back again. Boyd doing well in the air. Cooper playing it forward. There's Angus. Inside is Ferguson. That was intended for Arnott. But there was a very substantial depth there owed by Motherwell to Chris McCart as that ball came across from Jim Bett. Ian Jess let fly with a very powerful shot, and McCart was there with a block. Cooper to Boyd. Well, no one through the middle there for Motherwell. Both Arnott and Ferguson had come to the left. Hielhuis trying to control that on the run. There's Jess. And Maxwell swoops in the ball, but That's the kind of chance Ian Jess has been snapping up this season. So the ball played forward there by Van de Ven for Hillhouse, trying to judge it on the run, then was played across there by McCart, and Jess missed a very good shooting chance. Well, they'll be unhappy about that finish, the Aberdeen youngster. Cooper's header, there's Ferguson. O'Neill. Dolan is offered assistance from Chris McCart. Not getting up well. And a fine effort there from Ian Angus. Good play once again from Motherwell. Breaking very swiftly and to excellent effect. Laid back there by Ferguson. The shooting chance was on for Angus, and how he'd have loved to score from there. O'Neill lofting it forward, Irvin underneath that. Well housed to Jess, great play by Jess! The menace of Ian Jess apparent once again. And the striking partnership for Aberdeen almost paying off. The combination here of Hans Hillhouse with that magnificent header, then Jess making his own angle for the shot, and it's just a couple of feet too high. Motherwell thinking, I've no doubt, only about going in at half-time all square. It's kept in play well, allowing Arnott to break from the right. He's well challenged by Robertson. Angus to Patterson. This is Cooper. Boyd is going past him on the left. Here's Davy Cooper with a shooting chance. Still Cooper in possession. And it's Dolan with a final shot. Oh, what a shock that could have created right on the half-time whistle. It was Cooper's craft and confidence in possession which set up the chance. Looking for a shot himself originally, I think. Then he spotted Jamie Dolan on the right, and the shot was sliced wide. Well, the Motherwell fans still an excellent voice at the beach end behind Alistair Maxwell. Well, no scoring at half-time, and what a dramatic opening 45 minutes it has been. Hectic, all-out Scottish Cup action, and it all might have been so different had Alec McLeish's goal early in the match been allowed to stand. That was chopped off for offside, and while Aberdeen have dominated in the first half, Motherwell have shown tremendous determination and defensive organisation. This match is still in the balance. At half-time, it's Aberdeen 0, Motherwell 0. It was back on the 8th of March 1975 when these two sides last met here in the Scottish Cup, and on that occasion a goal from Bobby Graham won the game for Motherwell. And yet in that time Motherwell have not succeeded in a Premier Division match here at Pittodrie. Well, there have been 2 draws between the sides this season in the league, and the last one in December was here in Pittodrie, 1 each. That was the last game in which Robert Connor played for Aberdeen. Hillhouse's lay-off, it's turned away by Patterson, who's back on the field for the second half, but he certainly doesn't look entirely happy in defence. With Ian Jess. It's played in by Bett, and just too far ahead of Hans Hillhouse. Well, a dangerous attack this from Aberdeen. The ball was whipped in well by Bett. Hillhouse trying to reach it, but Maxwell had it covered. McLeish doing well in the air once again. There's O'Neill. Now Cooper attacking the Aberdeen defence. Great play by Cooper. There's Dolan. Turned away by Stephen Wright, but once again superb play inspired by Cooper from Motherwell. Well, he's got such remarkable vision here. He retains complete control of the ball, still looking up all the time to pick out the pass there for Dolan. And that cross a little bit too high perhaps, allowing Wright to come in at the far post to clear. Cooper's corner kick. Easily claimed by Snelders. Snelder certainly hasn't had a great deal to do this afternoon. Down goes Jess. The foul by Boyd. And Aberdeen in a hurry to get on with things. Van de Ven finding Connor. He's showing no ill effects after his layoff of some 6 weeks or so. There's Jim Betts. Couldn't quite get his bearings inside the box as that ball was flighted forward by Van de Ven. So some happy Motherwell supporters. There's O'Neill setting it up for McCart. Trying to get away from Connor. Oh, Dolan did well. A neat little touch there. There was McCart. And Connor coming in with that late challenge. The referee now taking some guidance, I think, from the linesman. It'll be a free kick to Motherwell. Connor going in late on McCart. Connor's last match was against Motherwell here at Pittodrie. The 15th of December. It's played in there by Ian Ferguson. A bit of pushing there inside the area by Chris McCart, giving the free kick to Aberdeen. The referee insisting that's taken from the correct place. McCart's header. Trying to play that beyond the Motherwell defence, but it's now with Hillhouse. There's Bet. Back to Mason. Another swift, incisive Aberdeen attack. Played across there by Hillhouse. Bet charging forward on the right. He knew that Mason was supporting him from behind. He set up the shooting chance, and the shot was pulled wide of the target. Going for the same ball, but coming to no harm, although Motherwell will have possession again. Vicious header. Connor helping it on. There's O'Neill. Now McCart. Played back by Arnott for Cooper. McCart coming forward on the right. This is promising again for Motherwell. Ian Ferguson. And the header inside the penalty area from Ian Angus. Aberdeen suddenly were exposed. Well, the best chance of the match so far for Motherwell. Ian Ferguson's delightful outswinger right to the head of Ian Angus, who was on his own unmarked, but the header was too direct at Snelder. This is McCart. Ferguson. Jess has support on the right from Bet. This is a great chance for Aberdeen. Jess waits in the middle. And Bet finds the side netting. Hopes were high among the Aberdeen supporters. Well, there'll be great relief there for Ian Ferguson, who lost possession inside the Aberdeen half. It was switched quickly via Jess to Bet. The angle was closing all the time. Maxwell covering his near post as the shot goes wide. Here's Tom Boyd, who could take this for a run. Attacking right. Fine play by Boyd. He's fouled coming inside. And the culprit is Peter Van de Ven, who was booked for a foul on Boyd earlier in the second half. So a substitution going to be made by Motherwell before this free kick is taken. The player going off is Ian Ferguson, and the replacement is Steve Kirk. Kirk certainly has snatched a number of very important goals for Motherwell since he signed for them from East Fife nearly 5 years ago. So Cooper commanding this dead ball situation. Cross it goes to Kirk. And his first shot of the match has put Motherwell ahead. It's Steve Kirk's first touch in the game. And the Motherwell fans go wild behind that goal. Well, Theo Snelder will be very concerned about this. It was here. It was Kirk unmarked, a powerful left foot shot. Snelders arrived late and could only help the ball into the net. Well, Theo Snelders has been idle for long periods in the match, but when he was called upon there, he wasn't able to get across. Well, Stevie Kirk is being booked by the referee, Alistair Hewitt, for the celebrations after the goal. Well, what drama here at Pittodrie. The 78th minute of the match. Steve Kirk comes on, and with his first kick of the game, puts Motherwell in front. Well, the Motherwell supporters behind Theo Snelders on their feet now, chanting in delight. Well, a very healthy contingent through from Lanarkshire, and I don't think they could have expected or hoped for fortune such as this. Played through the middle there, and a claim for a penalty kick is waved aside though by the referee. Drama once again. Scott Booth was brought down. Protest there from Alec McLeish, although I feel that these appeals were more in hope than expectation. Played in there by McLeish, played through the gap. There was Booth with Craig Patterson, who appeared to be trying to avoid a collision, and the referee appeared to be correct. Booth is still upset about not getting a penalty. We're now into time added on for stoppages, but there's no more of that. The holders are out of the Tennant Scottish Cup. Steve Kirk has won the match for Motherwell. History has repeated itself 16 years from the time in '75 when Motherwell won a cup tie here at Pittodrie. Kirk, with his first touch of the match, has drilled the ball beyond Theo Snelders, and Motherwell go through to the fourth round.
Tommy, coming to Aberdeen's always been difficult for Motherwell. Did you come here thinking honestly of victory?
Yes, I honestly felt we could, because we've had 2 draws already this season in the league, and there were opportunities in both these games that we could have won the game. The last time up here we felt there was a wee possibility of a penalty in the late stages of the game, and the boys honestly approached the game confident today, and obviously we got our wee reward.
You were under the caution in the first half. Do you think over the piece the victory was deserved?
Well, honestly, I can say Aberdeen were the better team in the first half, and we were fortunate to go in level at the interval. But in the second half, I thought we definitely played far, far better and more fluent, and were far better at probing opportunities.
Now, of course, a manager always has this difficult decision to make about substitutions. You, of course, are the maestro tonight because of when you sent on Steve Kirk. What was in your mind at that time?
Well, obviously I felt Fergie had worked really hard, and he was getting dragged into deeper positions because they were chasing the game at that stage. So we felt that Stevie Kirk, who's been used to the system a wee bit better, could go on for the last 10-15 minutes. And, you know, when I was making the substitution, Stevie came away with a comment when it was a free kick, "I'm going to score here." My response to that was, "You just get in and round the back post," so he's getting fined for being in the wrong position.
And he's not kidding either.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Derek, would that go down as a shock result?
Well, I don't know. If you look at the league, when they go up, every time they were up in the league, they didn't have any good results there. But Motherwell have such good individuals, Dougie, and that when they play well, they're a very, very hard side to beat. And you can't do much about shots like that from 25 yards. I think Tommy was right. The first half it looked like Aberdeen, but in the end, Motherwell have deserved it.
They're sometimes unfairly criticised, Motherwell, for getting men behind the ball and playing for a draw. But to be fair, in the second half today, that they threw men forward and in the end deserved it.
Well, I thoroughly expected Motherwell to go up there and get 10 men back behind the ball and look for nothing each and get them back at fair part. But no, there you saw Chris McCart up having a shot. Tommy Boyd was up. They've had a couple of opportunities. So well done to Motherwell. They deserve it.
And the holders out at the first time of asking. Well, now to Broomfield.